So 3.5 years ago, when I became involved in this world, I shared with many other people a great passion for seeing progress, but was mystified by the level of antagonism, the level of rivalry, the level of upset that existed. And I remember Sonya's predecessor, Sir Peter Spencer, saying to me when I suggested I might get involved, he said, well, you'll have to be resilient if you want to get involved, Alan, because you'll get attacked. And yes, immediately stuff started appearing on the internet, querying my motives for getting involved. It feels like 3.5 years later we're moving on from that, and we are starting to collaborate on many, many fronts, because it's the only way that we're really going to make material progress. And certainly, Stephen, you managed us beautifully there, because you took us down and down and down. And just when I was feeling rather depressed, you suddenly started taking us back up again. A masterpiece of manipulation, but it left me feeling good, and I suspect many others in the room. So thank you very much for that. So we're going to slightly change the tone now, but continue with the same theme. We have she's not our new CEO anymore, because you were actually here for the last AGM, but Sonya's been with us since September of last year, and her middle name is Collaboration, and I think we can take some heart from the way that she has tackled many of the issues that are now helping us to come together as one sector, for want of a better expression, to tackle the challenges that face us. Sonya's role in this particular session is to really, on behalf of the charity, feedback on what's been achieved over the last year and the plans for the coming year. She keeps saying to me, oh, maybe I'll make this short, maybe I'll make this short. It is important stuff. We do need to spend time on this. And then we will spend the rest of the day drilling down the different channels that Stephen outlined in terms of other distinguished researchers. So, Sonya, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's a really tough job to come and stand and talk to you straight after Stephen Holgate. I don't know whether to feel honoured or quite frightened by that. I'd just like to start. I stood here, not in this room, but somewhere upstairs, just over a year ago. And at that point, I'd been in post for about 7 weeks. And I had to reflect on the last year. And I think I was probably quite shell-shocked at that stage. And Alan's touched on this already, but I just want to give a reflection about my first year, really. And I don't think anything prepared me for the fragmentation that existed in this field when I joined. The frustration that existed, the anger at times, and actually the despair that I encountered at every turn. But the thing that's really struck me over the last year or the last 14 months is the passion that is out there, the passion that I encounter from all different kinds of people who have ME, their families, their friends, the researchers, the people here in this room at the moment, and the other charities. And I think it's that passion that's coupled with the participation and engagement of people affected by this disease, and the partnership and the collaboration that is now in place, and it's built over a number of years. That's what's going to create the change that we so desperately need. And I feel really proud to stand here and see Mary Jane from AIM, Charles, I'm not sure where he is, from the ME Association. I know Sue Waddle is going to be here at some point from ME Research UK. We have the Kents from Remember. We have other local support groups here. It's because we're here today coming together that we can actually create the change that's needed. And I feel really confident that we can do that. It's not going to be quick. People have been waiting for 20, 30, 50 years. Stephen put a quote up earlier on. You know, somebody who's had the illness for 21 years and is still waiting to see something change. But we can make that happen. And I feel really proud to be a part of that. So we are running, we were a little bit late starting, so I am going to shorten this a little bit, but I will leave more time for questions at the end, and I am obviously around all day, and I would encourage you to come and talk to me. All the things that I'm going to talk about are in your annual report, which you've got. I'm very proud of this. I think our team has worked really hard to produce this, and it's really to build on the work that we've been doing to become more transparent, and also to celebrate the successes that we've had. So I'm just going to say a little bit about the external world, because we're in unprecedented times. There's no two ways about it. Money is being cut left, right and centre. We can say all kinds of things about the government. I'm not going to even go there. We've seen massive changes within the welfare benefits system, and quite frankly, we've seen some appalling shifts happen, and it's not benefiting people with ME. There are some good things happening too, and we need to, we need to be within that context and working with things. As Alan said, we've had a change of chief exec in the year 2012 to 13. We had a number of new trustees coming in, and we have continued to have quite a challenging struggle, I guess, in terms of finances. But we did actually see growth within that year, and Chris Cundy, our treasurer, will talk a little bit more about finances later. But the one thing that we did do in 2012 to 13 was to provide support to over 290,000 people. Most of those people received services on our online ME centre, but that's a staggering number of people that have used our services. So during the year, in terms of our informing and influencing work, we produced some hard-hitting reports, and actually they've been referenced in the Scottish Government and in Westminster. That really highlighted the ignorance, injustice and neglect that continues to be experienced by people affected by ME. Quite frankly, that is appalling, and we have to do more to challenge that. We've worked with the other charities and with MPs and MSPs in Scotland. We've contributed to the All-Party Parliamentary Group, and with the ME Association, we provide the Joint Secretariat. We've also worked with Forward ME, and I'm really struck by the way in which the charities are working together and the desire to do more together. We had our Time for Action campaign, which saw nearly 10,000 people signing up to that to say, enough is enough, we need to do more. And through the work of our comms team, which is headed up by John and colleagues here, we've managed to secure over £100,000 worth of free media coverage through the letters that get written and the other things and articles that we put out there. That's a lot for a small charity the size of ours. And in the report, what we've done is just to put some quotes from people that we've collected over that year. I mentioned earlier the number of people that we've supported, and that is predominantly through our online ME centre. We have around 25,000 unique visitors to our centre every month. Over 30,000 people visiting that, and the average time is way above the national average for people visiting a website. So some months it tops 20 minutes. So people are going on and they're staying on our site, getting information, accessing the support from others through the forums and all the different kind of areas that we've got on the website. Our Interaction magazine, which is run by Claire, I can't see Claire at the moment, is fantastic. And for those of you, I'm hoping that most people will have seen it, but there's a lot of information in there. But we also have articles written by people who are supporting members. We had over 1,000 welfare rights line callers, and we know at one point that we were only answering 1 in 10 calls. We've now invested in another post, a new welfare rights advisor, who's in the room as well somewhere at the back there, to work with us to actually be able to meet the need. That's a huge area that we're seeing as an impact from the welfare benefits changes. We also provided telephone support to people. We extended our work in Scotland, and we've actually extended that again, and we've now got two staff working in Scotland, so Kat's not left working on her own. We've increased the work that we're doing with support groups, and I was talking to somebody before we started today that actually we've got to do more. This isn't about support groups becoming Action for ME support groups. This is about us working together so that we have a collective voice. And I talked to a lady from the Liverpool support group last week, and we came away with a number of ideas about how we could actually bring support groups together virtually so that we can start working and learning from each other. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a number of forums where people gain peer support. I'm not going to say too much about research because we're going to come back to research. And what's really great today, as well as having a fantastic speech from Stephen, is that we've got our 5 funded research projects all going to talk to you about the work that they're doing. During 2012 and 13, we funded the Biobank with the ME Association and ME Research UK and a private donor. We launched 3 pilot projects in Sheffield, Newcastle and Northumbria, and you're going to hear about the exciting work there. And I have to say, I took some donors to Newcastle and Northumbria for a visit, and Julia's not here, she's disappeared somewhere on the phone. I came away so inspired by that visit. Our donors were so excited, they're going to put more money into research. And that was on the back of the collaboration. I spoke to a dental doctor, I think he was, that deals with facial pain. And he was so inspired by the work that Julia and Jason are doing. He's come into the ME field to look at facial pain and headaches that are experienced by people with ME. I mean, how fantastic is that? It gave me hope that actually things are moving forward. We're co-funding the disease register. We played quite an active part in the research collaborative, and because of the support of a donor, we're able to provide the secretariat for that. We launched our research panel. We've got a couple of our supporting members who are here today that sit on that panel. Stephen's a member, and we've got others. And that's really important for us to actually become more transparent in what we're doing and to use the expertise in terms of helping us make decisions. And we've partnered a number of research projects. And the information about the research projects that we're partnering will go up on our online ME Centre. We want people to know what we're doing and why we're involved with those projects. So what next? You've got in your annual report our promises that we've set out. On May the 16th, we launched our Statement of Strategic Intent, and we deliberately moved away from having a corporate plan or a strategic plan. We actually want to set out our aspirations, and we're working really hard now to flesh out what those are going to look like. And at every point, the question we have to ask ourselves is, what benefit does this give to people affected by ME? And if we can't answer that question, we shouldn't be doing it. And we're starting to increase the conversations and the dialogue that we have with people affected by ME to help us make sure that we do deliver benefit. We have a new vision and mission, and I'm not going to say too much about those because you can read those. But that was on the back of a lot of work where we communicated with a whole range of stakeholders to help us develop that. We've identified 5 priorities for us over the next 2 to 3 years: health, welfare, employment, research, and increasing awareness and understanding. Last night, I was invited to a leadership in communications conference. I felt very intimidated. I felt a bit of a fraud actually going in there. I was one of 3 CEOs there. The rest were all comms experts and marketing experts. But I had a captive audience of 70 people that I could talk to about ME. That's fantastic, and we have to do more about awareness. Public awareness about the illness is not good enough. They were staggered when I gave them statistics, and I had a queue of people afterwards coming to talk to me. And at dinner, the person to my right from an advertising agency has a cousin who has ME. The person to my left, who works in the Open University, has a brother with ME. It's simply not good enough that public opinion and public awareness is where it is. The other thing that we did was to revise our values. So I'm just going to finish really on what we're setting out for the future. In your annual report, you'll be able to see the things that we're going to do, our promises to people affected by ME in terms of informing and influencing, empowering and support and research. And later on this afternoon, I'm going to unveil, it feels like it's very grand here, unveil our new research strategy. It's not set yet. We want you to participate and help us make sure that we get it right. We're going to do more in terms of collaboration, and we have to do more to bring more money in. We cannot do the work that we do without more money, and so we need to really focus on that over the next few months. And all of that, as I said, fits within our value base. And if we're not getting that right, I encourage all of you and all of those that are going to be watching this on our website when they go live, to actually speak to me, to speak to my team, to speak to our trustees, and tell us what more that we can do. We really want to hear from people, and we want to work with people. We need to get this right, because we cannot allow the situation to continue. I'd just like to, before I sort of open for any questions, we had a lot of criticism earlier this year about a Downing Street event reception that we had. I have to say that event, which was funded by people, no money from the charity went into funding that reception. It was not a political reception. What it has done has opened so many doors for us. I've met with national newspapers, I met with Fergus Walsh from the BBC, we've got a number of meetings that I've still got in the diary to go and talk to people. It has opened a number of doors. So we are going to be courageous and do things that may not be popular, because we have to find ways to deliver the benefit and to find new people to work with in the way that Stephen was talking about. So for us, that was a real highlight this year, and I want to see many, many more of those over the next 12 months. So that's all I'm going to say at this point, but I'm really happy to take any questions that people have. I don't know how long we've got, Alan, but I'm sure he'll come in.
Minus 10 minutes, really.
Minus 10 minutes. So being the CEO, I can say we'll take a few questions. People are desperate for a break.
I think, although it's midday and it doesn't feel like it's that long till lunch, I was quite keen that we do stop regularly. So what I'm going to suggest is we take a break now for 20 minutes and come back at 12:20, if that's okay. Thank you.